Hello everyone, this is part 6 of What If Naruto Had the Power to Control Vectors, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
The task force walked back into Konoha not with smiles of success but frowns of disappointment. The mission had been a failure. Accelerator and his partner, who had been identified as the missing Mist Nin Sugetsu, had disappeared. Minato was furious with himself for sending Accelerator so far. If only he hadn't been so angry, then he could have kept him in sight. There was nothing that could be done now though. They searched everywhere, but there was no trace of Accelerator. When they got in the village, no one in the task force said anything and just wandered off to their own homes. How are we going to explain this to Kazan and Minima? Naruto asked. I don't know. Minato said. We lost a lead and 2 Anbu on that mission. Those were the only words they said to each other the entire way back. When they walked in the house, Kushina and a recovered Minima were waiting for them. Welcome back, Kushina said. How'd it go? Minima asked, although by the looks on their faces she already knew it didn't go well. Accelerator escaped, was all Minato said before heading up to his room. Minato, wait, Kushina said, following him up there, leaving Naruto and Minima alone. So I see you all better. Naruto said, just to say something. Yeah, but I got a pretty bad scar. Minima said, lifting up her shirt to reveal a circular scar just under her breasts. I guess I should count myself luckily my back healed up without one, and it's not like anyone will be able to see this one. Yeah, at least that's good. Naruto said quietly. Naruto, what happened? Did it really go that bad? Minima asked. Not really, it's not like we had a huge amount of deaths, and most of us knew going into it that it was highly likely that Accelerator would escape once he found out Lee could hit him. Naruto said, tears starting to form in her eyes. But for me it wasn't even a fight. I didn't even get close to Accelerator because if I had he would have killed me in 2 seconds. Naruto yelled, really starting to cry now. He's our age but he took out 2 Anbu like it was nothing. Even his partner was our age and he was a monster. Sasuke and Kakashi all fought him, but he held his ground against all of us. It was like Sasuke and I weren't even there. Sugetsu was really only fighting Kakashi and we were just some bystanders. Naruto rolled up her sleeve to reveal bandages wrapped around her forearm. He cut me with his sword, and he wasn't even looking in my direction. Naruto said, tears running down her face and onto the floor. I was so weak there was no point in me even going. Minima ran towards Naruto and embraced her. It's okay, Naruto. We're both weak right now, but we'll get stronger. Strong enough so when it truly counts we'll be able to beat Accelerator. Minima said, leaking tears of her own. Things will get better. Too bad they would not. It all started when Jiraiya got back a few days later. He immediately had a meeting with Minato, who then held a family meeting inside the mansion. What's this all about? Kushina asked Minima. I don't know, Jiraiya wouldn't tell me. He just said he needed to talk to all of us. Minato replied. Just then Jiraiya walked in the room and took a seat on the couch across from Minato, Kushina, Naruto and Minima. I could have sent this by Toad, but I thought you needed to hear it from me. Jiraiya said. I infiltrated Otogakure and I found out where Naruto is. The Namikazes sat there stunned after losing Accelerator Jiraiya had pulled through. Minato didn't believe Jiraiya would find anything since Orochimaru would have fled Otogakure, but it looks like he was wrong. Well then tell us where he is. Kushina shouted, standing up. Jiraiya signed. You already know where he is. In fact you've all met him just recently, but you know him by Accelerator. That can't be true. Minato yelled, also standing up. Well it is. Jiraiya said. How do you know? Minato yelled. Because the snake told me himself. Jiraiya yelled. Minato stopped what he was about to say next and noticed that Jiraiya was slumped down on the couch. He looked exhausted. When I got to Otogakure it was abandoned except for one person, Orochimaru. Now this wasn't the real Orochimaru, just a shadow clone, but he told me that Naruto did know who his parents were and how he escaped when the base was attacked, and sometime after that changed his name to Accelerator. Quote. How do you know he wasn't lying? Minato asked, finding it hard to believe that Hisun was the psychopathic monster known as Accelerator. I guess he could have been, but Naruto being Accelerator explains so many things. Jiraiya said. Why he came to the village when he was a kid. Why he killed the guards when we were going to ask them questions. But why didn't he want us to know it was him? Minima asked, unconsciously touching the scare Naruto gave her. He must have wanted to come back when he escaped from Orochimaru since he came to the Leaf, but since Anbu were called on him when he came he must have thought he wasn't wanted. Jiraiya said. That can't be. Kushina said, her eyes dilating. Are you saying we forced Naruto away? Jiraiya didn't say anything, but they all knew that it was true. Kushina broke down in tears and fell to her knees. Kushina, it's all right, I'm sure if we apologize to him then he'll understand and come back. Minato stopped, he just remembered that he had slammed a Rasengan into his son's stomach. How could he ever apologize for that? That's not the only bad news I've come to talk about. Jiraiya said, looking deeply troubled. Orochimaru also gave me some information about the group known as the Akatsuki. Minato managed to somewhat calm down but only to hear what this other issue was. I thought Orochimaru was part of the Akatsuki, why would he leak information on them? He left the Akatsuki some time ago, in fact they were the ones that attacked his base allowing Naruto to escape. Jiraiya said. So I'm guessing Orochimaru is hoping we'll kill each other off because the Akatsuki's goal is to capture all the tailed beasts, which puts Naruto in danger. Why do they want the tailed beasts? Minima asked. Who knows, but it can't be good. Jiraiya said. What else do we know about the Akatsuki? Minato asked. Jiraiya sighed. That's about it. Orochimaru only told me about the goals, nothing about their members or skills. I think he just wanted us to know about them, but not have a huge advantage over them. That way we'll lose more ninja if we have to face them, and if Orochimaru is telling the truth it looks like we'll have to. So what are we going to do about them? Naruto asked, very afraid of this new organization. The truth is, Naruto, I believe it would be best to take you out of the village for 3 years and train you so you can be better prepared to fight the Akatsuki. Jiraiya said. Wait just a minute, Jiraiya. Are you saying you want to take another one of my kids away from me? Kushina yelled. Only temporarily, Jiraiya said, trying to calm Kushina's anger. Minato, you can't let him do this. We can train Naruto and Minima in the village and Naruto will be better protected. Kushina pleaded. Minato was rubbing his forehead, he had a terrible headache. Just wait, I need to think. This is just all so much. Naruto, Mito, the Akatsuki, and what should we do with Naruto? I just can't answer these questions all at once. Plus, does Naruto want to go? Minato asked. Everyone looked at Naruto like they were expecting an answer. I don't know. Naruto said, because for her too it was a lot to handle. Well, I'll give you time to think about it. Until then I try to find out more about the Akatsuki and where Naruto disappeared to. Jiraiya said, leaving the house. I got to go work on some things. Minato said, also leaving the house. The girls sat there in awkward silence until Naruto couldn't take it anymore. I'm going out, she said. Once outside she felt like she could breathe. She decided to take a walk around town to clear her mind. There were just so many things that had gone wrong, and most of them were her fault. If only she had been nicer to Mito, then she wouldn't have run away. If only C had trained harder, then she could have fought Sugetsu on his level, then maybe they would have captured Naruto. Naruto was thinking about all these things when she spotted someone she hadn't seen in a very long time sitting on a bench. Hey Hinata, Naruto said, taking a seat beside her. Oh hey Naruto, Hinata said, sounding detached. I haven't seen you in a while, what have you been up to? Naruto asked, trying to start some sort of conversation to get her mind off everything. No much, just a lot of training since I'm the one who is going to have to lead the clan. Hinata sighed. Naruto looked at Hinata with sad eyes. She had forgotten that Mito hadn't been the only one to run off. Hinata's sister was also one of the escapees. Hinata must feel just as guilty about it as Naruto is about Mito. Hey Hinata, Naruto said. Hinata looked at Naruto for the first time since she sat down. Yes Naruto. Don't worry, we may have screwed up as sisters, but I'm sure once we see them again we'll be able to make it up to them. So just keep trying and get even stronger. Naruto said, giving Hinata the thumbs up. Hinata actually smiled for the first time in a long time. Here was someone who knew what she was going through and probably had it even worse than she did, yet she could still smile and believe she could fix things, so why couldn't Hinata? You right Naruto, let's work hard to bring our sisters back. Mito and Hitomi were grinning like idiots when Naruto woke up. What are you two grinning about? Naruto asked with no sense of humor in his voice. Oh, nothing, just thinking that you two would make a good couple. Mito said, giggling to herself. Naruto realized what they were looking at and turned to see that Hanabi was still sleeping soundly on his chest. Sometime during the night Hanabi had worked her way up so her arms were now wrapped around his neck and her head was resting just under his chin. Naruto just sighed, dealing with the brats was getting tiresome. Naruto tapped the back Hanabi's head with his knuckles. Hanabi slowly opened her eyes. Well, good morning Hanabi, did you sleep comfortably? Naruto asked with the sweatiest smile he could pull off. It was nice. Hanabi said, her mind still fogged from just wakening up. That's nice, Naruto said, his smile slowly turning into a look that promised pain. Now would you please get off me? Hanabi finally realized that she was on Naruto's chest and at a speed that would put the Hokage to shame. She got off Naruto had into line with the rest of the girls. Her face was so red that she was sure it would be tinted that way forever. I'm sore YNA accelerator. How are you feeling? Hanabi said, tapping her fingers like her sister had always done. I actually feel a lot better. Naruto said, getting out of bed. There was still a little pain, but it was more of an irritation than an actually problem, and since he felt fine there was one thing he needed to do. He changed his reflection back to normal. Now since I've been out for a couple of days I'm pretty hungry, so why don't you make me something to eat, Hanabi? After all, you made sure to keep me warm while I was sleeping, you must be concerned about my well-being. This about sent Hanabi over the edge as it looked she would die from embarrassment and probably would have if Mito and Hitomi hadn't grabbed onto each of her arms and dragged her off to where Naruto assumed the kitchen was, giggling all the way. Stupid brats, Naruto said. He decided to take the time he had alone to explore the base. The walls were all made of stone and each room was connected with a dimly lit tunnel. Naruto assumed they were either underground or craved into the side of a mountain. The base was pretty well suited for everything and anything a missing nin might need. There were plenty of bedrooms, a large area for training, which by the looks of it Sugetsu had been using since there were cut-up training dummies everywhere. There was a small medical bay that Naruto probably should have gone to instead of just sleeping a Rasengan off. There was a library with books on just about everything, a dining room, the kitchen which Naruto could hear racket coming from so he didn't bother to go in, and some kind of meeting room. Naruto assumed he would get all his assessments there. Naruto took a seat in the dining room and waited for the girls to bring out his food, and thought about his new position with the Akatsuki. He would need to make the girls stronger since he was sure they would also be getting missions from the Akatsuki, and although it was unlikely they would be sent out on S-rank mission like Naruto was likely to be seen on, he doubted the missions they got were going to be simple escort missions. He would also have to get stronger. His fight with the leaf had shown him that he had been too dependent on his reflection. While he was thinking of some new tricks, the girls brought his food. Hope you enjoy, Hitomi said, setting the food in front of him. Naruto eyed each of the girls to see how they felt about joining the Akatsuki. They seemed happy. Hanabi seemed to have gotten over herself as her blush was gone, but the way Mito and Hitomi were eyeing her made Naruto think that a serious girl conversation had gone down in the kitchen. They would probably never tell him what they talked about, but Naruto had a theory he wanted to test. This is pretty good, Naruto said, taking a bite of his food. But I feel like it just isn't enough. Were there any maid costumes back there you three could wear? Mito put her hand over her mouth, trying not to giggle, having guessed what Naruto was doing. Hitomi was looking at Naruto like he was the biggest pervert since Jiraiya, and poor little Hanabi's face was so red that Naruto was sure that if you touched it you'd burn your hand. Naruto chuckled as he took some more bites of his food, but then Zestu had to come and ruin his fun. That's cruel of you, Zestu said, emerging from the floor besides Naruto. The black side seemed annoyed at the white said for making such a comment and decided they needed to get down to business. Follow us, we need to discuss your position within the Akatsuki. Naruto got up and followed Zestu to the meeting room. The girls tried to follow but Zestu took them, only official Akatsuki members were allowed. Once they entered the room, a number of seals appeared on the wall that Naruto assumed were there to keep anyone from listening in. First things first, welcome to the Akatsuki, Zestu said, handing Naruto the Akatsuki cloak and a red ring with the kanji for Shu on it. Put the ring on your right middle finger. Naruto did, along with putting on the cloak. The ring will allow you to use Pion's magic lantern body technique, which you'll need to help with the sealing of the Jinchuriki. That's great on all, Naruto said, admiring his new ring. But could you just tell me what I have to do? This one's impatient. Maybe we should pair him with Sasori. Don't be stupid, Sasori already has a partner. Zestu said to himself. Hold on, what's this about a partner? Naruto said. Akatsuki working pairs of two. Lucky for you, or unlucky, Kisame, the man who was supposed to be your partner, was assigned to another member, due to a rather bloody accident, so as of right now we don't have a partner for you, so until we can find another person that meets the Akatsuki's requirements, you be supporting the girls on bounty hunting missions. I see, so basically I'm doing what I've already been doing, except I'm giving the money to the Akatsuki, Naruto said. If you want to think about it that way then sure. Zestu said. Can I pick my own targets? Naruto asked. As long as their bounty is worth the time and they aren't someone who will get the Akatsuki a lot of attention for taking out, so stink to missing nins. Zestu said. Well, if that's it then I better start finding some bounties. Naruto said, leaving the room. When he got out, the girls were waiting for him, no doubt having tried to listen in on them. That looks good on you. Mito said, eyeing the cloak. Maybe one day you'll get one, but for now you three have training to do. Naruto said. Go to the library and find an elemental jutsu you think you can learn, then go to the training room and learn it. I've got to talk to Sugetsu about what bounty we're going to go for. Hi, the girls said as they rushed off to the library. Now to find Sugetsu, Naruto said. Naruto and Sugetsu spent the rest of the day looking through the bingo book, secreting for an acceptable missing to hunt down that was in Mito's, Hanabi's and Hitomi's skill range. Unfortunately for the girls, they found someone way out of their skill range, but too good to pass up. Reiga Kurosuke, one of the 7 swordsmen and currently missing nin. This is pretty brutal for their first mission. I mean, look, this guy's Anbu level. Naruto said. Hey, if the brats want to become the new generation of the 7 swordsmen, then they'll have to get their hands on the 7 swords. Sugetsu said, eyeing the Kiba blade with a lustful look in his eye. Besides, your sister's Genin team had to face Zabuza on their first mission and they lived. I guess you're right, he has a nice bounty and getting that sword will boost their strength, but I want to let them finish learning the new elemental jutsus I assigned before heading out. Naruto said. But what if someone else gets to him before we do? Sugetsu said nervously. It will be fine, Naruto said. It didn't seem to calm Sugetsu down, however. If you're so worried about it, then go in there and help Hanabi with her water jutsu. Naruto had never seen Sugetsu move so fast. It only took 2 days for the girls to learn their jutsus thanks to Sugetsu's help. Then the group headed off to find Reiga. Naruto found out they were craved into the side of a mountain when they left the base. The girls were excited and nervous to be fighting someone of such high level. Naruto had promised them that if it looked like they were going to be killed then he'd step in, but other than that he wasn't going to help them at all, so the entire journey the girls spent discussing strategies and asking Sugetsu for information about Reiga and his skills. Once they finally made it to the small mining town that Reiga was in, the girls had a pretty good plan. Asking around the village, and although the villagers were hesitant to talk to Naruto due to his appearance, when the girls asked they revealed that Reiga had a small following called the Kurosuke family. Apparently they buried people alive. Well, that sucks. Come on Sugetsu, let's take out the grunts. Naruto said. I thought you said we weren't going to help them fight. Sugetsu said, but followed Naruto nonetheless. I didn't know he had a following. I don't want the girls getting tried out because they had to fight the cannon fodder. The group made their way towards Reiga's base on top of a mountain. Naruto and Sugetsu took out the Kurosuke family with little effort. Once they made it to the top, Reiga was waiting for them with the Kiba blade in hand. Although it was 2 separate blades, so he actually had one in each hand. He also had some sort of backpack on. Well, what do you know if it isn't Sugetsu? Are you here to take my head? Reiga asked. Yes and no. We are here to kill you, but I won't be one taking your head. Sugetsu said. Really, so I'm going to have to bury your friend here? Reiga said, looking at Naruto. Wrong on that too, you'll be fighting them. Sugetsu said as he and Naruto stepped to the side to show the 3 girls behind them. They'll be the ones killing you. Reiga looked at the girls who were staring at him intensely. Come on, do you really think 3 girls is enough to beat me? The girls looked annoyed before they each disappeared, then reappeared in the air on all sides of Reiga, prepared to attack. Don't take us lightly, Mito said. And you need to take me more seriously. Lightning Dragon Tornado. Rhaegar yelled as he put his swords above his head and started spinning. The result was a tornado of lighting that looked like a dragon. The girls were in the air and couldn't dodge, so they were all hit by the attack. It didn't do too much damage, but it did send them to the ground in a rather painful landing. Rhaegar stooped his jutsus facing Naruto and Sugetsu. "Now how about you two give me a real fight?" Rhaegar said and sent a lightning bolt from the tip of one of his swords. Naruto put his hand out and let the lightning hit his palm before sending it in a random direction. Although putting his hand out wasn't necessary, it just made a greater effect than him just standing there. "Why don't you focus on your own fight?" Naruto said as Rhaegar was quickly forced to dodge a great fireball from Hitomi. Hanabi came up behind him and it looked like she was going to hit a few of his chakra points, but he somehow knew exactly where she was. He turned around and gave her a nice slash on her cheek. She was forced to pull back to avoid getting seriously hurt. How did he know I was behind him? I didn't make a sound. Hanabi thought. Hanabi would have to put that thought on the back burner for now. "Water bullet," she shouted as she sent a stream of water from her mouth and onto the ground under Rhaegar. "Come on, it's going to take more than a little water to beat me," Rhaegar teased. "Lightning bolt," Mito yelled as she shot a strand of lighting from her fingers at the water that Hanabi had laid down. Rhaegar stuck his swords into the water and they acted like upside-down lighting rods and absorbed all the lighting Mito had shot. "Did you really think you would get me with a lightning jutsu like that? I show you a real lightning jutsu," Rhaegar said as he pulled his swords out of the ground and lifted them into the air. "Fangs of lightning," he shouted as two huge bolts of lightning were sent into the cloud. The girls only had a second to realize what was going on before lightning bolts rained from the sky and barely missed them. They had to run around trying their best to not get hit by the endless number of blots. Hanabi used palm rotation to block the bolts, but Mito and Hitomi weren't as lucky. They tried to run behind Rhaegar, but somehow he still knew exactly where they were and they were hit. The pain was unbelievable. It felt like their entire bodies were being roasted inside out. Smoke escaped from their mouths as the lightning heated their organs. They both collapsed to the ground as the Rhaegar stopped his jutsu. Hanabi was horrified to see her friends in so much pain, but as Naruto hadn't stepped in, she knew they at least were alive. There was one other thing. Hanabi had noticed something that she hadn't been able to see when fighting up close. The pack on Rhaegar back was giving off its own chakra signature. There was someone inside it, and Hanabi bet whoever it was the reason that Rhaegar knew where they were even if they weren't in his line of sight. "Hitomi, Mito, aim for his backpack," Hanabi yelled, even if she didn't know if they could respond or even continue fighting for that matter. Rhaegar showed the briefest expression of panic when Hanabi said that, however, so she knew she was on the right track. Rhaegar did not find Hanabi's plan as helpful as she did, so he rushed her. Hanabi was forced to dodge the expert swordplay of Rhaegar. This pretty much put her on the defensive, as any attack she tried would likely get her chopped into pieces. Not that she was doing a great job of keeping up with Rhaegar anyways. His attacks were just too fast and Hanabi too slow. She managed to avoid being hit anywhere vital, but the cut down her arms and stomach were beginning to get very painful. Meanwhile, on the other side of the mountain, Hitomi and Mito were trying to get to their feet, which was a surprisingly hard task to accomplish. Every muscle they moved sent a shock of pain throughout their entire body, but seeing Hanabi fight so hard finally gave them the strength to get up. They would have to believe in Hanabi and trust that attacking Rhaegar's backpack would somehow give them an advantage. He seemed distracted fighting Hanabi, but since he seemed to know where they were at all times, if they tried to rush him, he'd turn his attention back to them. "Mito, I have a plan," Hitomi said. "It's more than I have," Mito replied. Hanabi was getting hit more and more often as the battle dragged on. She knew she was in a bad situation, as she had seen Naruto getting ready to intervene on more than one occasion during one of Rhaegar's attacks that would hit one of Hanabi's vitals, but she would always just manage to dodge. It looked like they had lost and it would be up to Naruto to take out Rhaegar, but there was one more thing the girls were going to try. Hanabi saw Hitomi running up behind Rhaegar with a kunai in hand. Rhaegar noticed her and looked over his shoulder to keep an eye on Hitomi. When he did, Hitomi threw her kunai, which had an explosive tag on it. Rhaegar just held up one of his swords to hit it out of the way, but before he could, Mito shot lighting at the kunai, causing the tag to go off prematurely, covering Rhaegar in smoke. Rhaegar, having suddenly lost sight of Hitomi, started talking to his bag to try and find out where she was. Hitomi had already pulled out another kunai and was getting close to Reiga. Something was off though, for Hitomi it seemed like the world was moving slower and sharper than ever before, so when she finally got close enough to Reiga to strike she could see the swings of his swords and dodged then. Reiga could tell that he wasn't going to be able to hit Hitomi in time, so he stepped back as Hitomi made her swing. Hitomi didn't make contact with him, but she did cut the strap on his backpack, causing it fall off. Reiga made a desperate grab for the bag, losing all focus on the girls. This allowed Hanabi to get in close and block a number of his chakra points on his arm. He dropped one of the swords while his other hand was holding onto the bat and a sword. It was amazing how just one attack had changed the whole battle. Reiga was outnumbered, and with only one hand holding two things he was in trouble. The girls quickly realized that targeting the bag would cause Reiga to let himself be hit, if he couldn't block or dodge, instead of letting the weapons pierce the bag. Reiga was still an Anbu and hard to hit, but since his offensive weapons weren't very effective with only one arm, he was slowly going down. As the girls continued to land hit after hit, a voice coming from inside the bag made itself more apparent, pleading with Reiga to leave him and run, but Reiga stood his ground up until the very end, and even with all the attacks Reiga never let a single one hit the bag. Once Reiga collapsed, the girl did the same. They were bloody and out of breath, but they had taken down one of the 7 swordsmen all by themselves. Hitomi, your eyes. Mito gasped. What about them? Hitomi asked. Why don't you take a look? Sugetsu said, holding the flat of his sword to Hitomi's face so she could see the reflection. Hitomi gasped. She had awoken her Sharingan. Each of her eyes had 2 tomos in them. After Hitomi had some time to take it in, Sugetsu followed Naruto to Reiga body, or more specially the bag. The bag was making a soft crying noise as Naruto and Sugetsu looked at it. Who do you think's in there? Sugetsu asked. It doesn't matter, he's just another one of Reiga's grunts. Naruto said. He seemed to actually care for this one though. Sugetsu said. Just because he did doesn't mean we should. Naruto said. Guess you're right. Sugetsu said, making his hand into a finger gun and firing water bullets at the bag. The crying stooped as blood seeped through the newly created holes. Naruto went around and collected the swords as Sugetsu cut off Reiga head so they could get the bounty. These are yours now, Naruto said, handing the 2 blades to Mito. You have lighting nature, so it only makes sense that you should get the Kiba. Thank you, Mito said, accepting the swords. That's great, Sugetsu said, sounding really excited. Now I can train you in Kenjutsu, but first you'll have to follow the old tradition of the 7 swordsmen, getting your teeth sharpened. Sugetsu said, showing off his own sharpened teeth. What, I don't want my teeth sharpened? Mito yelled. Hey, every one of the swordsmen did it, Sugetsu stated. Reiga didn't have his teeth sharpened, Mito said. Let me tell you a secret. The swordsmen's power comes from 2 things, their swords and their teeth. Reiga lost because he didn't have the second thing, Sugetsu said. That sounds like a load of crap. Come on, Accelerator, you can't let him sharpen my teeth, Mito pleaded. My hands are tied. If Sugetsu won't teach you Kenjutsu unless your teeth get sharpened, then it looks like you don't have a choice, Naruto said with his own dark smile that Mito suddenly thought would look good if his own teeth were sharpened. Back in Konoha, Minato had called Kushina and Jiraiya to his office. What's this about? Kushina asked. Minato sighed. He knew Kushina wasn't going to like what he had in mind. I've decided what to do about Naruto. I'm going to put him in the bingo book as an S rank under his real name. Minato, you can't do that. Naruto will be killed, Kushina yelled. He's already in the bingo book, Minato yelled back. Besides, I'm putting in additional information that I want him to be brought back to Konoha alive for a huge reward. This should make any bounty hunter that wants to kill Naruto for Kumogakure's bounty think twice, and since he'll be under his real name, I think people will get why I want him alive. But what about all the people who want him dead, because he's related to you? Jiraiya questioned. I'll just have to trust the greed for money is higher than their anger for revenge, Minato said. Kushina still didn't want her son to be a target for the whole world, but if it was the best chance to get their son back, then she would just have to hope for the best. So the next day, Accelerator's bingo book profile was updated to now say Naruto Namikaze, Accelerator, S rank. Sugetsu's sword clashed against Mito's, and Mito was sent to the floor drooping both of her swords. Sugetsu sighed as he stuck his sword in the ground. Come on, brat, you should be able to stop that. I didn't even swing that hard. I'm still learning, Mito said, getting up and picking up her swords. They had come back to the base after defeating Reiga. Sugetsu had immediately started training Mito in Kenjutsu. Now Mito had been slowly catching up to Sugetsu in Taijutsu, but in Kenjutsu Sugetsu was miles ahead. One of the biggest problems Mito was having was holding two swords at the same time. Mito heavily favored her right hand, so her coordination with the two swords were way off. Most of the time she would only swing her right sword while her left sword hung at her side. She wasn't the only one training. Hanabi and Hitomi had been sparring. Hanabi was trying to work on her gentle fists while Hitomi was working on her Sharingan by trying to predict Hanabi's moves. Naruto was also training, but his was a lot different than anyone else's. Naruto was reading an advanced mathematic book that gave Mito had headache just from looking at the page-long equations. Mito had assumed that Naruto was looking for a way to fix the weakness in his reflection, but when she asked him about it, he said that his reflection couldn't get any better when it came to reflecting taijutsu, so he would just have live with that weakness. Mito Wo still didn't really understanding Naruto's powers, just accepted Naruto's answer. Mito knew, however, that Naruto wouldn't just ignore the weakness. If his reflection couldn't be modified to stop Lee's punches, then he would do something else that could. This training continued for a couple days until Zestu came to give Naruto a mission. Naruto walked back in the meeting room with Zestu. Got something you need me and the brats to do? Naruto asked. No, this is an actually Akatsuki mission. Zestu said. I thought I could only do bounty hunting mission with the brats until I got a partner. Oh shit. Naruto said, thinking about it. Don't panic yet, we still haven't found you a partner, but you won't be going alone. Say hello to your new temporary partner. Zestu said with a creepy but somehow childish smile. Naruto looked around the room hoping someone other than Zestu would pop into existence. No such luck. What's our mission? Naruto sighed. Don't sound too disappointed, we're going someplace where you can get something you want, like one of the 7 swords. Zestu said. Kirigako, I guess I could get the brats a souvenir. Naruto said. Before we go, I think you need to have a look at this. Zestu said, handing Naruto a bingo book. Naruto saw what page Zestu was open to and received a slight shock. So how did they find out? Naruto asked, seeing his real name on the page. Don't know, but it's here. Zestu said. Naruto put the book down and sighed. His secret was out and he was sure more ninja were after him than ever before. It wouldn't be so bad, but damn, that bounty Minato placed on him for bringing him back alive was fucking huge. Naruto wouldn't be surprised if he had the largest active bounty in the bingo book right now. That sucks, but there's nothing I can do about it, so what's the mission? Naruto was trying to cut a leaf with her chakra and so far no luck. It was so frustrating. Why did chakra natures have to be so hard? At least she wasn't the only one having problems. Minima wasn't having much success on her chakra nature either. The girls have been training ever since they found out Naruto was Accelerator. Naruto still hadn't decided if she wanted to take Jiraiya up on his offer, so until she could make a decision she would be training with Minima under Minato and Kushina. First lesson, chakra nature. Naruto had wind and Minima had lightning. Kushina told Naruto that wind was rare to have, something that Naruto took great pride in. Both Minato and Kushina had lighting nature, so it was no surprise that Minima also had it. This wasn't a bad thing for Minima, however, as Kushina could teach her a lot faster than she could with Naruto. With Naruto and Minima taking lessons from their parents, Team 7 had been disbanded, with Sasuke now taking lessons from Itachi. Kakashi was doing whatever Kakashi did in his free time. Naruto opened her hand again to check up on the leaf and was surprised to see she had actually made a small cut. Normally she would have jumped for joy at her progress, but she just didn't feel like she had gotten anywhere. The ability to cut a leaf wouldn't do her any good against Naruto, who just made S rank, and who knows how powerful the Akatsuki is. Naruto guessed she only had herself to blame. If only she had taken being a ninja seriously back in the academy, then maybe her brother wouldn't have such a head start on her in terms of skill. She was sure Orochimaru didn't let Naruto slack off like her parents let Naruto do. Naruto sighed thinking about her brother and went back to cutting her leaf. The next couple of days went incredibly slowly. It seemed like everyone in the leaf was just waiting for information. Information about Mito, information about the Akatsuki, but mainly information about Naruto. The leaf was tense to say the least. By now everyone knew that the Hokage had listed Naruto in the bingo book, and it seemed like the whole ninja population, not just in Konoha but everywhere, were ready to mobilize at just a clue to Naruto's location. I was a race to see who could get to him first. Would it be the bounty hunters looking to capture Naruto for the money? Would it be the Leaf who wanted to bring Naruto home, or would it be Minato's enemies who were ready to kill him? These questions would plague the Namikaze family every night. However, there was one village that didn't care about the Namikaze's lost son, Kirigakure. No one could really blame them. They did just finished up a bloody civil war that has led to the rule of the 5th Mizukage, and fixing a ninja village hardly left time for concern about other ninja villages. So it just happened to be the perfect place for Naruto to turn up. Naruto was standing on a mountain overlooking the village hidden in the mist. Naruto was wearing a straw hat to avoid being identified. The village looked like absolute crap. Its buildings were in disrepair, some of them looking about ready to fall over. From what Naruto could see, the streets were littered with beggars and prostitutes. It looked even worse with the cloud-covered sky that was blocking all the moonlight from the night sky. While Naruto was admiring the city, Zesto imaged up through the gourd next to him. "You know, for a partner you don't stick around for too long, Naruto." Naruto said since once they left the base and Zesto explained the mission to Naruto, he had immediately merged through the gourd and left Naruto to walk all the way by himself. "I think he missed us. Do you remember the mission?" Zesto said. "Of course I remember the mission." Naruto said. "Good, then we wouldn't need to talk till the mission is complete. Make sure you don't get killed," Zesto said before submerging back into the ground. "It was nice talking to you too," Naruto said to himself. The mission Zesto had given him was beyond weird. Naruto had to kill a bunch of seemingly random prisoners that had been captured in the Civil War, and Zesto's job was to destroy some document from the 4th Mizukage. Naruto didn't know why the Akatsuki wanted these guys dead, but Naruto didn't think the Akatsuki would send them out here for no reason, so it must be important. The problem was that this was a stealth mission, and Naruto wasn't exactly a stealthy person to begin with. Add a huge bounty combined with a village that could really use the money, then you have the worst mission ever. Naruto didn't have time to curse his luck, however, because he had a mission to do. Naruto created 4 tornadoes coming from his back. His cloak swung wildly around him and Naruto had to hold onto his hat to keep it from falling off. Once Naruto had adjusted his tornadoes slightly, he felt confident to trust his new technique. He had never used it before, but all his calculations said it would work, and as long as the calculations said it would work, then Naruto was confident he could do it first try. Naruto pushed off the ground and started flying. It worked just how Naruto calculated it would. By moving his tornadoes in different direction, Naruto was able to push himself in any direction and hover in midair if he wanted. It was a little awkward at first since Naruto had to do all the calculations for the wind speed, but once he got that down, he was flying as if he had been doing it for years. Naruto flew high into the skies above Kirigakure, staying in the clouds to keep out of sight. It was a good thing Kirigakure was so disorganized, since normally it'd be impossible to land in a major ninja village without getting spotted, but right now there was a bunch of abandoned area in the village that made for a perfect landing zone. Once Naruto landed, he stopped his tornadoes and made his way to one of the slums. Naruto expected to stand out a little more in his Akatsuki cloak, but pretty everyone in the slums were wearing some kind of strange outfit, probably because it was the only things they could find. It didn't take long for Naruto to find the prison, since it was one of the few buildings that was in somewhat decent shape. Naruto spent the next hour scooping out the place, learning the guards' movement and forming his plan of attack. The guards seemed to be anywhere from mid-Chunin to high Chunin, and they were all especially tense. The building was a medium-sized structure that was made entirely out on concrete. There were no windows and only 2 doors, one in the front and one in the back. Naruto assumed that the cells would be in the basement of the building. Now the question was how to get inside. It would be so much easier if Naruto could just kill them all, but no, this was a stealth mission. Naruto sighed. It looked like he was going to have to use the oldest trick in the book. He walked over to a nearby building that looked like it would collapse at a moment's notice. This would be perfect. Naruto could use vectors to make the building fall and everyone would just think it fell naturally, and that's just what Naruto did. The building fell and a bunch of the guards ran over to check the damage and to see if anyone needed help. While this was going on, Naruto walked through the back door. "What idiots," Naruto said to himself as he walked down the dark hallways and down the stairs. "Hey who are yo," was all the guard could say before Naruto sent a pebble through his head. Man, one guard stayed behind to watch the prisons. "This village it worse off than I thought," Naruto said, getting the attention of the prisoners. "Hey, are you here to free us?" One the prisoners said. "Well, I'm not freeing you, but I am getting you out of here," Naruto said, sending a pebble through the bars. This caused the other prisoners to panic and move as far back in their cells as they could. It didn't help, as Naruto went around killing everyone that was on his list. Once that was done, Naruto left the prison just as easily as he had entered. The guards were still helping the people that were hurt in the collapse, so it would be a little bit before they would discover the bodies. This gave Naruto time to head to the armory. The armory was way better guarded than the prison, and Naruto had no idea where the swords could be. He was looking for one specific sword, and finding it without knowing where to go would be a problem. Likely for Naruto, helped arrived in the form of a plant. "How'd it go?" Zestu asked. "It was way too easy. They only left one person to guard the prisoners after my distraction," Naruto replied. "Ours was equally as easy. It seems like this new Mizukage isn't so great on defense. Give her a break, she only been in office for a week," Zestu said. "I don't care about that, I just want to get in there," Naruto said, pointing to the armory. "So you're really going to steal a sword?" Zestu asked. "Sure am," Naruto replied. "Which one? We can get it a lot easier than you can," Zestu said. "The Nuibari," Naruto said. "Wait here," Zestu said, submerging into the ground. Naruto, now not having to go get the sword himself, waited for Zestu to come back. When he did, he gave Naruto the sword and they left the village just as the prisoners' bodies were being discovered. Naruto could hear sword clashing as he entered the base. He quietly walked into the training room so he could see what was going on. Mito was sparring with Suigetsu, and Naruto could already see improvements in her kenjutsu. She was using both swords now, although she was still favoring her right hand, and his sword play looked sharper. This wasn't enough to get Suigetsu to really try, but it was good progress. Hitomi was reading a book, and Hanabi looked like she was practicing a water jutsu. They were all too busy to notice that Naruto had returned. "Hey, heads up," Naruto yelled. Hanabi turned to see a long needle speeding towards her. She barely had time to dodge before the needle embedded itself in the wall behind her. "What the hell? You almost killed me," Hanabi screamed. "What are you talking about? I was just giving you your present," Naruto said, chuckling to himself. "But if you don't want it, then I'm sure Hitomi will be glad to take it." Hanabi puffed out her cheeks and walked over to dislodge the needle. Hanabi knew exactly what it was since she had to listen to Suigetsu's lecture about the swords along with Mito and Hitomi. "So you went to Kirigakure on your mission?" Hanabi asked. "Yeah," Naruto replied. "How was my home village looking?" Suigetsu asked. "Like crap," Naruto said. "Buildings were falling down and the ninja were so bad that I was able to complete my mission in no time at all and get that sword without even being detected. One of the 5 major ninja villages, my ass." "So why did you get me the Nuibari?" Hanabi asked. "If you hate it so much, then give it to Hitomi. She must be feeling left out, being the only one to not have one of the 7 swords," Naruto said sarcastically. "That's not what I meant, if you know it," Hanabi said with a small blush on her face. "I thought it would be the best sword for you given your eyes," Naruto said, explain his reasoning. "I thought it was strange that the Hyugas could see 360 degrees and farther than most people but used close-range combat. Well, that sword will allow you to take full advance of your eyes by allowing you to attack at long range along with still being usable for short range." Hanabi looked at the Nuibari in a new light. She had never even considered using her eyes for long-range attacks, but the more she thought about, she wondered why the Hyugas never focused on long range. Probably because the elders thought close-range fighting reflected the Hyugas in a better light than begin cowards who stay away from their enemies. "Thank you, Naruto," Hanabi said. "If you really want to thank me, then show me you have what it takes to use that sword," Naruto said. "Hi," Hanabi said energetically as she ran over to Suigetsu to learn how to use the Nuibari. Naruto avoided 2 of Minima's chains. "Great breakthrough," she yelled as she sent a strong gust of air at Minima. Minima dropped to her stomach as the jutsu flew overhead. Naruto was about to launch another one when she sensed something below her and jumped out of the way just as one of Minima's chains ripped through the ground. While Naruto was in midair, she threw 2 kunais at Minima, who had to roll out of the way and stand back up. Minima retaliated with her own kunais, but these were lightning charged and were going much faster than Naruko's. Naruko was just barely able to avoid them as one even nicked her arm. Okay, that's enough, Minato said, standing up to stop the match. What, I haven't even got you use my ace, Minima complained. That may be so, but you two have been training all day and a long spar just wouldn't be good for you. I mean, just look at yourselves, Kushina said, who had also been watching the match along with Jiraiya. It was only now Minima realized that her clothes were stinking to her skin thanks to all the sweat she had produced. Naruko was in a similar state. Why don't you two wash up and I'll go make dinner, Kushina said. Hi, the girls said, starting to walk off to their bathrooms. Jiraiya also stood up and for some reason started following them. Jiraiya, if you try to sneak a peek at my daughters there'll be hell to pay, Kushina said, her hair rising with a deadly aura. That not what I was doing, I swear, Jiraiya said, holding his hand out in front of him. Minima and Naruko didn't get to hear what happened to Jiraiya as they had already left the room. Naruko felt the warm water hit her face and run down her body. It was so nice to be able to relax a little. Naruko's days had been non-stop training. She wasn't complaining. It was nice to be able to get stronger, but it could just be a little much. Hey Naruko, I've been meaning to ask you. Have you decided if you're going to train with Jiraiya? Minima said from the other side of the wall. Although Naruko and Minima had separate bathrooms, they were only separated by one wall, and it just so happened that the showers shared that wall. So they could have conversations with each other if one of them didn't turn the water on too loud. No, I haven't. Why'd you ask? Naruko said. I think you should, Minima said. What? If I left for 3 years it would just be you, Tu-san and Ka-san, wouldn't you be lonely? Naruko asked. Probably, but we've all experienced Naruto's power and at the rate we're never going to catch up to him, Minima said, and somehow Naruko knew Minima was touching her scar. The only thing that I can think of to beat him is get power the same way he did, under a Sannin. I don't think Jiraiya will give me the same kind of power Orochimaru gave Naruto, Naruko said, trying to laugh at her own joke. That may be so, but he managed to make Tu-san strong enough to be Hokage. So even if you only return from your training trip a minuscule stronger than you would have been if you stayed, then it just puts you a little bit closer to Naruto, and don't think I'm not going to be busting my ass while you're away, because I'm not going to let you get that far ahead of me, Minima said. Naruko thought about it for a long time as the water ran down her body like a cloak of water. Do you really think I should? Naruko asked. Definitely. Dinner was nice. Kushina had made a great meal just like always and everyone seemed happy, but no one was saying anything. There was no conversation about anything good or bad. Naruko felt like they somehow knew that tonight she was going to say something important and they didn't want their talking to interfere with hers. Naruko sighed. I've made my decision. I want to train with Jiraiya, Naruko said. No one asked why she had decided so suddenly, but Minima looked happy. Jiraiya was smiling like he had just peeked in the bathhouse. Minato and Kushina looked sad, but they seemed to know this was the right decision. That's when Naruko realized. You knew I was going to make my decision tonight. Yeah. Minima told us how she was going to try and talk you into it, Kushina said. I can't say I'm happy to see you go, but I know you'll come back stronger than ever, Minato said. Well, it looks like you get to spend 3 years with your hero. I'm sure you excited, Jiraiya said. Naruko looked at all the smiling faces at the table and felt better than she had felt in a long time. I promise I'll make you proud, Naruko said. The next day Naruko and Jiraiya left. Only Minato, Kushina and Minima knew they were leaving. The rest of the village would find out soon enough, but Naruko didn't want him to know when they were leaving because she didn't want him to think this was goodbye, because it wasn't. It was a promise that in 3 years all the problems that had built up over the last 12 years Naruko would finally be strong enough to fix them, and the village would be too. Hanabi's and Mito's Kenjutsu was coming along well. They were both sparing against Sugetsu, and although they weren't nearly strong enough to give Sugetsu any trouble, he actually had to try now. Naruto was half watching the spar when something unexpected happened. Hanabi used some tricky footwork and managed to get behind Sugetsu. She stabbed her Nuibari through Sugetsu's head, making it explode in water. Naruto sighed as he used his vectors to force his chakra to go insane. The genjutsu that was on him broke, revealing that Hanabi had never hit Sugetsu. You're going to have to do better than that, Naruto said to Hitomi. Hitomi had been training her genjutsu and her goal was to cast a genjutsu on Naruto without him noticing, but so far that hadn't worked. How did you know? She asked. There is no way Hanabi would be able to hit Suigetsu with just Kenjutsu at the stage she's at. Naruto said. If you wanted to do something more relivable, you should have had Suigetsu seriously injure Hanabi. One day I'll get you. Hitomi said. I'm sure, Naruto said sarcastically. I see you are in high spirits, Zestu said, emerging from the wall Naruto had been leaning on. You always show up at the most inconvenient times. Naruto said. We've found your new partner, sucks for you, so get ready, we're going to the land of hot water. Zestu said. Fine, let's get going, I just hope I can keeping myself from killing him. Naruto said. You brats better not reek the place while I'm gone. Hi, the girls said. I don't think killing him will be a problem. Zestu said. Naruto was in the land of hot water looking for his future partner with Zestu walking besides him. Yes, walking besides him, something Naruto thought Zestu incapable of doing until now. So who is this guy? Naruto asked. A ninja by the name of Hidden. His village was turned into a tourist spot. He didn't like that, so he killed as many people as he could before he fled. Zestu said. I see. You know, you never told me what happened that caused Kisame to be paired with someone else. Naruto said. Kakazu killed his third partner and Pian was getting fed up with replace them, so he matched him up with Kisame, who is calm and strong enough to not make Kakazu mad and end up getting killed. Zestu said, sounding somewhat entertained by the idea of all those killings. Well, Kakazu sounds like a swell guy, can't wait to meet him. Naruto said, and not for the first time thought about what kind of crazy organization he had joined. We have to meet Hidden first. Zestu said. That great, but who knows how long we'll have to wait before we find him. Naruto said. Turns out not long since, just as Naruto said that, a guy holding a triple-bladed scythe jumped from a tree and tried to skewer them. Naruto and Zestu dodged to the side just as the weapon priced the ground. I'm guessing you're Hidden. Naruto said. Who the fuck wants to know? Hidden said, pulling his scythe out of the ground. We're part of an organization called the Akatsuki and we would like for you to join us. Zestu said. Why the hell would I join a shitty organization? All I want to do is kill people and please Jashin. Hidden said. I must insist. Zestu said, not sounding too friendly. I told you I'm not joining your organization. Hidden yelled. That's a shame, it looks like we'll be doing this the hard way. Naruto, if you would. Zestu said, looking towards Naruto. Naruto sighed. I was hoping it wouldn't have to go this way, but it looks like I'm going to have to force you to joining. You're going to force me? What are you, like 10? Hidden laughed. I'm more than old engaged to beat you. Naruto sighed as he pushed off the ground towards Hidden. Hidden was surprised how fast this kid was and was barely able to block his fist with his scythe. Jashin will savor your blood. Hidden said as swiped his scythe down on Naruto's head. Naruto pushed himself backwards so Hidden's scythe hit nothing but ground. Naruto wasn't going to be so reliant on his reflection anymore, so if he could dodge he would, even if the chances of Hidden getting through were next to zero. Better safe than a scythe through your head. Naruto reached into his pocket and took out his ball and threw it to the side so it bounced off the trees. Then Naruto stared, firing his pebbles at Hidden. He used his scythe to block the pebbles, but he forgot about the ball, which hit him in the side. The ball bounced off Hidden before bouncing off some trees and making its way back to Naruto. Damn, that hurt. Hidden complained. Just join the Akatsuki, it will be easier. Naruto said. I fucking told you that my not joining. Hidden yelled as he charged Naruto. Naruto in reaction threw a pebble which he expected Hidden to block, but he didn't. Instead the pebble went right through where his heart. Damn, I killed him, Naruto thought. But that wasn't the case, Hidden was still charging him. Naruto was so shocked that a man who was supposed to be dead was still running at him that Naruto didn't dodge. He would have been killed if it wasn't for his reflection. Hidden's scythe hit it and the force of the impact was enough to make Hidden fall to the ground. Hey, what the hell, why didn't I hit you? Hidden yelled. Sorry, but thanks to my powers you can't hit me, but what I want to know is how you're still alive. Naruto said. I'm immortal. Hidden replied. Then it looks like we're at a stalemate. You can't hit me and I can't kill you, so it looks like you'll be joining the Akatsuki. Naruto said. What makes you think I'll join the Akatsuki? You just said it was stalemate. Hidden said. It may be true that I can't kill you, but I can rip you into tiny pieces, then shoot those pieces all over the elemental nation, and if that happens you won't be able to please Jashin. Naruto said. Hiden scoured, probably trying to weigh his options. He knew that if he couldn't hit Naruto then there was no way he could win. Eventually Hiden's reason got the better of him. Fine, I guess I'll join your shitty Akatsuki. I'm glad you accepted, Zestu said, handing Hiden an Akatsuki cloak and an orange ring which Zestu instructed Hiden to put on his left index finger. Let's get going, partner, Naruto said. Naruto and Hiden walked back to the base with Hiden complaining the entire way. When they finally did reach the base they were met by an odd sight. Sugetsu had Hanabi on the ground and Sugetsu was holding some kind of chisel. Once Hanabi saw Naruto she started screaming. Naruto, help me, Sugetsu trying to sharpen my teeth. Who the fuck are these people? Hiden yelled. Naruto sighed, he had a lot of explain to do. Mito couldn't believe how much power was in this one room. It was so much that she was sweating, and by the looks of it Hanabi and Hitomi weren't doing too much better. Sugetsu looked okay, but he kept eyeing this guy who looked like a shark. The reason they were here is because about a week after Naruto came back with his new partner Zestu told them that for the first time in a long time all Akatsuki members were meeting, and that include non-official members, so they headed out to the meeting's location. Mito didn't really know what to think of Hiden. He obviously didn't like them and he didn't appear to like Naruto either, but he was strong. He spared with Sugetsu once and Sugetsu would have surely died if he wasn't made out of water. Other than that, Hiden kept to himself and didn't really come out of his room. He also did these weird rituals. Mito thought he was just the freak to join the Akatsuki, but after arriving to this meeting Mito realized Hiden was the norm. Now that we're all here, I'll begin. Pian said. The Akatsuki will soon be making it moves to capture the nine-tailed beasts, but until we're ready we will not be doing any more missions. Instead we are going to lay low and train for 3 years. Are you fucking kidding me? I just joined and you're telling me I have to do nothing for 3 years. Hiden said. Hiden, shut up, Naruto said, releasing some killing instinct that didn't affect Hiden. As I was saying, after those 3 years are up you'll each be hunting one of the tailed beasts, and as a secondary goal Orochimaru, although who will take him out will be assigned later. Pian said. As for who will be hunting each beast, it will be assigned by lottery. The women standing beside Pian produced a bunch of papers and put them in a basket. You'll each choose one, and the 2 that are left over we be giving to me and Conan. Also the location of the 3 tails is unknown, so Zestu will be giving that one and find out where it is. Once he does it will be determined which team will take it down. The basket was passed around and every member took one. It was a childish way of doing things, but it was the easiest way to assign the tailed beasts without people fighting over them, and with the already tense atmosphere in the room a fight wasn't too hard to imagine. Please read off your number. The number is the number of tails the beast that you're hunting has. Pian said. 1. Deodara said. 5. His partner Sasori said. 4. Kisame said. 8. Kakazu said. 2. Hiden said. 7. Naruto said. That gives me and Conan 6 and 9. Pian said. Now that you have all been assigned a tailed beast, return to your base and be ready, because in 3 years the Akatsuki is going to shake up the world. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.